We're here at the National Farm Machinery Show. I'm visiting with FMC, and I have with me Bruce. Bruce, tell me your name, what you do for the company.
I'm Bruce Stripling. I'm the Regional Horseshoe Tech Service Manager covering Louisiana to Maine, including Kentucky, Tennessee, and Arkansas.
We want to talk about disease management and the fundamentals of that. So why don't we start right there and, like why do you need a fungicide, for example?
Well, all our fungicides, chemical protection, are best used as prophylactic protectants. That's really how they're destined to be used. The critical thing in deciding whether to use a fungicide or not is, first off, let's correctly identify the disease we have. Whether it be whatever's happening in that crop, is it abiotic, is it biotic, is it a pathogen, is it cultural, environmental, or stress, nutrition? So critically, the first thing is identify the problem. Then once we identify that it is a disease pathogen, then where in that life cycle we can affect the pathogen. And that's when we start picking out which one of the products are going to be used.
Well, a significant problem is GLS, or gray leaf spot. Tell us a little bit about the concern growers should have about this.
Yeah, so one thing I learned in college is we learn these specific techniques to control a disease, reducing the inoculum, burying the inoculum, getting rid of debris. Well, that doesn't always coincide with the best agricultural practices. We're getting a lot of no-till, a lot of strip-till. We have residue laying around. What we've seen in years past is that residue can lay there for a year or two, and that inoculum's there for a year or two. We have these increased wetting years. I think what we can predict is we're going to have more gray leaf spot coming in the next couple of years. Growers don't want to hear that right now. We've got a lot of crops that are still sitting in the field. That's arboring, that's inoculum sitting there ready. We know insects are already in the field in the south that are hanging around. So we see a lot of potential for inoculum, which is in turn going to give some potential for a lot of disease.
But there are a couple of others that are really pretty significant we might want to mention here in case somebody's not real familiar with it, like tar spot, for example, or frog eye leaf spot.
Frog eye one we've seen has been occurring. It's moving up into the eye states in our soybean growing areas. What we've seen there is actually what we know about is strobe resistance isolates are moving into those soybean growing areas. So those products that have a strobe as a background or in that formulation aren't effective. They're relying on one chemical to be effective, which is generally going to be the triazole. Luckily for us, we have Top Guard EQ, which is a strobe and a triazole, and that triazole is phenomenal. It is the best triazole in the marketplace for frog eye leaf spot and gray leaf spot. But what we've done is come up with a new product called Lucento, where we've mixed a group 7 in with that group 3, which is an SDHI chemistry. Bixafen is one of the best leaf spot materials in the marketplace, combined now with the best triazole in the marketplace, flutriafol.
So there's this thing called, I guess you say it, frac groups.
Frac groups,
yep. What are frac groups?
So frac groups are the way we classify how that chemical works, its mode of action. The group 3s, the triazoles, are DMI, sterile biosynthesis inhibitors. We have our group 11s. Those are the strobies, the QOs. And then we have the SDHI, which is now the second largest class behind the triazoles, which is a group 3. It also works in the mitochondria, but it's a complex 2.
A question I know that I've heard asked in some seminars that I've been to and stuff is, how or when does a grower know that they should apply fungicide?
That's the best question we always can get. Growers want to time it to a growth stage. That's not the practice really to use these products. The best way to understand when to make that application is footprints in the field. You want to scout, monitor. Once you start seeing that infection come into the field, that's when you need to start making those applications. There's thresholds. The university's done a great job with showing us what the thresholds would be and how they impact yield. And that's really what a grower should go by, is those thresholds and scouting and monitoring their fields.
So can you talk about the difference between a curative versus preventive, which I would assume is probably more desirable?
Yes, no, our products, and all our products, whether it's ours or the industry as a whole, these products are mainly used to be preventive. We hear of curative activity, and we promote it with the triazole group of products. That curative is really stopping the infection process from the standpoint the spore germinates, infects the leaf, infects the cell, and you're stopping that hyphal and the penetration. But once that Haustoria has penetrated the cell and you start to see the symptom in the plant, fungicides aren't erasers. You can't erase what's dead. That cell's dead, it's compromised. And sometimes people say curative, and they think they can erase it. It's not an eraser. So really, we can stop that latent infection that visibly we haven't seen. But more importantly, it's protection. We want to put these products on to protect that uncompromised leaves, those that we're trying to protect, because we want those leaves for photosynthetic activity.
All right, well, thank you very much, Bruce, for visiting with me here. We're at the National Farm Machinery Show, and I'm Chuck Zimmerman reporting. I like that better. I got it backwards. Right when I said it, I was like,
no, it's fine.
I'm just going to